Hey everybody, if you're on, we're just going to give everyone another minute or two to get the video up and running, and then we'll get started. Okay, everybody, we're going to go ahead and get started tonight. My name is Leah Sargent, and I am a Senior Gold Ambassador with Plexus. I'm so excited that you're here tonight. We know that you have a lot that you could be doing on a Tuesday night, and we're really thankful that you chose to spend just a little time with us tonight. I'm going to start tonight by sharing a little bit of my story and how I got involved with Plexus, and then we'll go from there, okay? So for those of y'all who don't know me, I am from Nashville, Tennessee, and I have been a violinist for 18 years. I had my very first violin lesson on Halloween when I was 10 years old. And so I played all through elementary school, middle school, high school, and when I was ready to graduate college, I just didn't really have this great life plan. I just knew that I loved playing my instrument, so I went to college as a music major. And it was wonderful. I had an amazing orchestra director who I still adore. And the tough part was, though, that I went from practicing about 45 minutes to an hour a day up to playing my instrument about 6 or 7 hours a day. Everybody thinks I'm exaggerating when I say that, but that's how music majors live. I mean, we play all the time. And so that kind of combined with a poor diet in college. You know, I was typing papers, I was taking notes in class, I was stressed, not getting enough sleep. All those factors combined led to just developing some chronic pain in both of my hands the end of my freshman year. And like any normal 17-year-old, I thought I was invincible, so I ignored it. And through my sophomore and junior year, it continued to get worse. And by the time my senior year rolled around, seniors in music school present a senior recital, meaning we play either half an hour or an hour, depending on your concentration. We play a recital, a solo recital. It's all us. And I was supposed to present an hour, and I had to cut it back to half an hour because I just couldn't manage it. And at that point, I was living on painkillers. I was wearing wrist braces 24 hours a day. The only time I ever took them off was to shower. I couldn't turn a doorknob, literally. I couldn't drive my car because I couldn't hold the steering wheel. I couldn't hold a knife and a fork normally. I mean, I looked like a 5-year-old trying to hold them like this, you know? I mean, it was so painful. And after I got out of college, I tried everything to get better. I tried cortisol shots in my hands. I tried physical therapy. I tried not playing my instrument for a year and a half. A year and a half, y'all. And as long as I didn't play, it would be okay. But the second I picked up my instrument to play, just shooting sharp pains through both my hands. And so I tried all these things. I tried all the conventional routes to heal from this, and just nothing worked, and nobody could tell me why it didn't work. And so eventually I was at the University of Virginia's Medical Center, which is one of the top medical centers on the East Coast. And the doctor told me, he told me, "You're just going to have to stop playing." And I laughed. I was like, "I don't think you understand. That's not an option. I'm not an athlete that can retire from football. This is not a thing. No, sorry." And I just kept saying to my parents, like, there has to be an answer for this. There has to be. I'm too young for this. I was 20 years old. And so at this point, I set down my instrument. I didn't play it at all for over a year and a half. Wasn't getting better. I went to graduate school. I didn't play in graduate school, and then I was teaching in Northern Virginia, and I saw one of my friends start to post about Plexus on Facebook, and I thought it was only for weight loss. I didn't know what Plexus was really about, and I was like, oh, that stuff, great. And then my sister betrayed me and joined Plexus, and I was like, really? What is this? Like, and so now both of them are talking to me about Plexus, and I was like, guys, I've been a size 4 my whole life. Thank you very much. I don't need your weight loss stuff. And I was not that nice about it either. And they just kept talking to me about it. And so in October of 2013, I tried ProBio 5, and only ProBio 5, super inconsistently. I think I took it like every other day or every third day or something silly like that. So of course it didn't do much for me because I wasn't consistent. And then and then in November, my sister was like, look, if you love me, you're going to try Slim for a month. And I was like, fine, I will try it for a month, and then you can get off my back about it. And so I did. So I tried Slim for the month of November, and I was really consistent about it because I knew if I wasn't, I was never going to hear the end of it from my sister. And towards the end of that month, like almost the very end of the month, I woke up one morning and I just noticed that my hands didn't hurt. And I couldn't even remember the last time I had felt that way. It had been 8.5 years since I started having pain in my hands. And I was like, oh, that's weird. Like, must be a fluke, right? So I put on my wrist braces and I went to work. And I came home from work that day. And normal for me was to come home from work and to have ice on both of my hands for about an hour, just so I could function to make dinner and stuff like that. And I forgot to ice my hands when I came home from work because they didn't hurt. And I got in the middle of making dinner and I realized I hadn't iced my hands and they didn't hurt. And I was like, oh, this is weird. So that continued for a couple more days, and I finally called my sister and said, is there any chance this stuff is going to make my hands stop hurting? Because like they magically don't hurt all of a sudden. And she was like, well, I don't know. Let's find out. So she did a bunch of reading on what's in Plexus Slim, and we found out some really cool information about it. But the short answer is yes, it did help me, and I have now been pain-free for 2.5 years, and I'm really excited about that because no doctors could find an answer. They couldn't tell me why nothing was working. They just told me I had to give up what I loved, and as it turned out, that's not the case. So at this point, like I said, I've been pain-free for 2.5 years. I play professionally here in Nashville. I am a teacher here in Nashville. I practice whenever I want for however much I want, and I have no pain, and it is amazing. So that's why I'm really passionate about Plexus, because I really believe that this can help every single person who is willing to try it consistently and commit to it. So, so that's my story. So I want to tell you a little bit more about Slim, which is sort of our flagship product here at Plexus, and the thing that almost everybody takes. So here's what it is. It looks like this, kind of like a Crystal Light Pack, except without all the artificial ingredients. And it's not a meal replacement. You just mix it up with water and drink it once a day. I like to take mine in the morning before I work out. And its ingredients are just designed to help regulate your blood sugar so you avoid the spikes and crashes that are a part of most people's lives. It tastes really fresh. It tastes like berries. It's pink because of beetroot, not food dye, which bonus is good for your heart. And my favorite part about this, besides the fact that it works so well, is that it's easy. Y'all, I'm busy and I don't have time for a lot of high maintenance stuff, but this is so easy. I mix it up and drink it once a day, and that's it. So I love Slim. It's one of my favorite products, and it's probably the thing I'd never ever do without. So that's just a little bit about Slim. And now, before we go on and talk about other products, we've got a giveaway to handle. Okay, so we are giving away a 3-day trial of Slim tonight, and our winner is Rebecca Butcher. So congratulations, Rebecca. And now I'm going to hand it over to my sister in my upline, Deborah Medill, and she's going to tell you a little bit more about our gut health products. Go ahead, Deborah.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Leah. Okay. I am going to try to keep it focused here, but I am so passionate about gut health, so I might get a little bit carried away, but I will do my best here. Okay, the first product I'd like to talk with y'all about is our Probiotic 5. This is our probiotic supplement, and I'm sure you probably already know that probiotics are so important for overall health. Now, why is that? Well, it's because 70 to 80% of your immune system is actually in your gut. So gut health is super important. Another thing that goes on in your gut is that's where your digestion takes place, obviously. So your gut has to actually break down all of the food that you take in, extract the nutrients from it, take those into your body and put them to work. That's how you get your hormones made. It actually starts in your gut. This is where the inflammatory response starts with a lot of issues. So gut health is really what you should be focusing on if you have any kind of health problem. It really does all start with gut health, and I'll share more about my story with gut health here in a little bit. Okay, so if there are so many probiotic supplements on the market, what makes ours different? What sets it apart? Well, the first thing is that the strains of probiotics that are in this are specifically chosen to help regulate your gut, not just to help kind of fix some symptoms, which is what most probiotic supplements do. A lot of them are targeted to kind of help indigestion, maybe some heartburn, things like that, and that's good, but they don't actually go into your gut and start to reprogram it so that your immune system can start to work the way it should. So there's all the strains, and I could really geek out here and tell you all about why each one is so important and what it specifically does in the body, but I won't get too boring with that. So the first thing that sets ours apart is that the strains are specifically chosen to help regulate your gut and start to reprogram your immune system. Okay, the next thing that sets ours apart, and this is what is really exciting to me about it, is that our probiotic supplement also has enzymes. Now, the enzymes are important because they actually go into your gut and they start to literally digest all of the bad bacteria and yeasts that most of us have already in our gut. And normally we have a pretty big overgrowth just from our modern lifestyle, all the toxins that we're exposed to, our environment. All these things kind of work together and encourage an overgrowth of bad bacteria and yeast. So these enzymes in Probiotic 5 actually go into your gut and they start to break it all down so that these good strains of probiotics in the supplement can start to take over and actually rebuild the population of your gut. I know it's super nerdy. I am really excited about it though because it works so well. Now, another thing that sets ours apart is that we actually have antioxidants in this supplement in the form of grape seed extract, vitamin C, and vitamin B6. Now, all these things work together with the enzymes that are breaking down the bad bacteria and yeast. A lot of times when you start to kill off the bad bacteria and yeast, they release some toxins that can make you feel really bad before your body can get rid of them. So the antioxidants also help to neutralize those things so they don't cause a lot of problems in your body before you can actually get them out. So those are some things that really set ours apart. And I would love to share my story with you and what made me so passionate about gut health to begin with. So I have 3 little boys. And my youngest just turned 3 this spring, Daniel, and when he was born, it was evident pretty quickly that he had some pretty serious food intolerances, and because I was nursing, that meant that I had to really dial my diet back and eliminate some foods, and it was really difficult. I had to eliminate dairy, soy, corn, and gluten, and that does not leave you very much food to eat. So, and I had to be so strict because if I even ate a bite of a cookie with butter and flour in it, he would be up all night screaming for 4 or 5 days. So it was a really stressful time, and I did a lot of research, a lot of reading at that time. And what I ended up doing was, in addition to eliminating all these foods that he was reacting to, I started really pursuing how to fix his gut, because I just so strongly felt that this was something that he could heal from, that his body could work to overcome so that he could eat normal food again. So we did a gut healing diet, this specific popular diet, for about 6 weeks. And he made some small improvements on it, but after 6 weeks I had to stop because my body was really just shutting down. I wasn't getting enough to eat. I wasn't getting enough carbs. You just really couldn't on this diet. So we had to stop that, and then a few weeks after stopping that, those improvements he had made just kind of, he went back to where we had started from. That was really frustrating. We tried a lot of different probiotic supplements around this time, and I'm sure they all did good in the form of putting the good bacteria in, but because it didn't have the antioxidants and the enzymes, nothing was ever really able to take root and kind of rebuild his gut. So we didn't really see any improvements from them. So when he was about 7 months old, I did start giving him the ProBio 5. I just mixed into applesauce. It was one of 6 foods that he could eat and not react to at that time. So I just mixed it into his applesauce every day. And within a month, his horrible reflux was completely gone, just gone. And I was like, okay, well, maybe that's just a coincidence. So within another month after that, he was starting to eat small amounts of dairy, and he was fine with it. There was no reaction. A few months after that, he could eat gluten, no reaction. A few months after that, he could eat corn, which was really the worst food that he reacted to. So, I mean, we just started seeing these results right away. Within a week, I could tell his reflux was improving. So just the fact that we saw measurable improvements right away told me that it was working. And I'm in this Facebook group with thousands of other moms who also have babies with food intolerances. And y'all, they're not growing out of it. These babies don't just grow out of it unless you work actively to do something to heal their gut. And that's what this did for us, and that is really why I'm so passionate about the ProBio 5 and especially overall gut health. So our next gut health product is the BioCleanse. Now, a lot of times when people hear the word cleanse, they get a little scared because they think about running to the bathroom in an emergency all the time. That is not how BioCleanse works. It's really gentle, and it helps to oxygenate and cleanse your body. It's not going to be something where you're going to have an emergency with it. It's very gentle. It's not harsh at all. Now, the reason why oxygenating your body is so important is because it helps regulate your body's inflammation response. And that is another really huge component of health overall, is keeping your body from overreacting to things. And that's what chronic inflammation is. It's a chronic overreaction of your inflammation system. So when you're not in a chronic state of inflammation, it helps prevent all kinds of diseases. And I'm not going to name any because I'll get in trouble, but anyway, you can do some reading about inflammation and all that it affects, and that is really why the oxygenating your body is so, so important. Okay, now another thing that a lot of people are worried about taking anything that has the word cleanse in it is it going to be habit forming? And the answer is no with BioCleanse. It's not habit forming at all. It's essentially a nutrient supplement for your body. You can stop taking it at any time and everything is going to work just fine. It's not habit forming at all. Now, the reason it's so important to also take BioCleanse with the ProBio 5 is because if you're breaking down all the bad yeast and bacteria with the ProBio 5 and then you don't make sure that they get flushed out of your body can actually reabsorb some of those toxins, and you definitely don't want that. So it's super important that you also take the BioCleanse to make sure that everything gets flushed out, gently of course, to make sure that nothing gets reabsorbed. BioCleanse, you're not going to see a whole lot of specific testimonials for where everyone's like, I love BioCleanse. But that is because it really just works to help the other products do their job more efficiently. And that's a very good thing. Another thing that I love about the BioCleanse is that it has about 95% of your daily recommended dose of magnesium in it. Now, most Americans are very deficient in magnesium, and there are so many different symptoms of magnesium deficiency. So because you're getting all this magnesium, that's why a lot of people say that BioCleanse helps them sleep better. That is a huge thing with magnesium, is better sleep, which obviously I'm sure everyone can always benefit from. So that is why you really want to make sure you're taking BioCleanse with the ProBio 5 to make sure everything is working as efficiently as possible, and you can start to see the gut healing benefits of both of them together. Okay, so now my friend Leticia is going to share about our multivitamin X Factor.
Thank you, Deb. So I feel a lot like Deborah. I could talk about X Factor for a really, really long time, so I'm going to try and keep it concise tonight, give you some information, and then also tell you a little bit about my story. So what makes X Factor, which is our awesome multivitamin, so amazing? There's a couple different things, and I'll touch on the highlighted points. One is that it is the only vitamin on the market that has a patented aloe blend, and it is fully methylated. So what does that mean for you taking the multivitamin? So when we talk about aloe, aloe is an amazing ingredient. It actually enhances the absorption of nutrients by 300 to 400%. So if you just stop and think about that for a second and think about our food supply, the foods that you're eating are already quite nutritionally deficient unless you're eating, you know, organically raised produce and different foods like that. So when you're talking about the food that you're eating and the very limited amount of nutrients that you're getting, the fact that just your multivitamin alone can boost the absorption of those small amounts of nutritional ingredients is kind of awesome. And it also means that by increasing the absorption, your body is actually utilizing the nutrients from your foods and other supplements as well. So one thing that I really like to do is I like to take my X Factor with the Slim that Leah was talking about earlier in the session. So if you think about the information that Leah shared on how there's the reduction in inflammation, imagine that being magnified and amplified in your body just simply by having the aloe as part of your nutritional supplement. So that's one of the things that gets me really excited, because I know based on those measurable results that I'm seeing that I am absorbing nutrients. I used to be hungry all the time, never feeling like I would get satiated for a long period of time. And I know that that linked back to some leaky gut issues for myself. And over time, I just noticed that I was able to stick to regular meal times, maybe a snack here and there, but I wasn't constantly being driven by food and thoughts of food all the time. So that's one of the things that I have noticed as my body has become more adept at absorbing nutrients. And the other thing, which maybe a lot of people don't talk about, is that when I've taken a traditional multivitamin, and I've heard this from many people as well, you kind of find out that you're creating some expensive urine. And by that I mean there's the neon colored, really yellow pee. You don't get that with X Factor. And I thought that that was just the coolest thing because it was something that I noticed right off the hop. And that again links back to your body absorbing the nutrients and the aloe being able to get that to the right systems of your body where you need them. The other thing that I love about aloe vera is that it is a contact healer, which is amazing. If you've never done any research on aloe, I would encourage you to take a peek at it. So what does that mean when we say that it's a contact healer? That essentially means that once it comes into contact with your skin, your cells, your organs, it immediately starts doing its job, which is healing. So if you think about that, most people have used aloe vera on a sunburn. And it's got the really soothing properties to it. It takes down the inflammation, and it also helps to heal the skin after the burn. So when you think about that internally in your gut, you can start to see where not only increasing the absorption of those supplements that you're taking and getting those vitamins in, but it's also helping to heal the leaky gut potentially that you're suffering from, which a lot of people do. And it's also going to assist in just giving your body the right tools so that it can start that healing journey. For me personally, one of the things that I like to do, and I'll just show you a little capsule. So this is the size of an X Factor capsule. I used to try to take multivitamins and they were compressed in a tablet form. And I had severe digestive issues. And when I would try to be healthy and take these vitamins, I would find that I was just compounding my already large history and problem of chronic constipation. And I wasn't able to digest and break down those multivitamins because the form that they were in. So this is in a capsule form, and I'm not going to open it, but you can easily twist this apart. You can see that there's movement there. You can open it, and you can actually pour this directly into either a water bottle if people have trouble swallowing capsules or tablets. The thing that I like to do with it, knowing what I know about the increased absorption, is I actually like to mix it with my Slim in the morning. So since I have started to do that nifty little trick, I have noticed that my gut health has gone even better than it was before, and I attribute that back to the fact that now that aloe is liquefied and I'm drinking it, and it's coming into contact with my whole GI system and my esophagus and my tummy as soon as it's going into my body. I'm not waiting for that capsule to break down and open up. It's going right from my mouth all the way down, which is kind of cool. And the fact that we've been able to see noticeable differences just speaks to the fact that these products are active and they work. So the other really cool thing, as I mentioned about the X Factor, is that it has fully methylated B vitamins. Now that's kind of a big term and not a lot of people are aware of it. So let me break that down for you. Essentially 60 to 70% of Americans, and I'm sure the statistics are about the same for Canadians, so we'll just say North Americans, have a gene mutation called MTHFR. And it's a really long word, and I'm sure that Deb and Leah can pronounce it, but I'm not even going to go there. It essentially means that your body does not have the capability to absorb and use B vitamins properly. So you're asking yourself, well, what does that mean for me? So if you're in that 50 to 70%, which is a large percentile of the population, it means that your body is not able to utilize B vitamins, and that can look different for different people. So that can show up in liver issues, it can show up in infertility, we've seen it in multiple miscarriages, also seen it for internal hemorrhaging and different health issues. And what's concerning is these statistics are on the rise, just with the growth in population and how that's carrying over to new babies and children. That number is growing, so that issue is on the rise. You may not even realize that you're in that group of people, but you very likely could be, just based on the numbers of the people that are on here tonight. Many of you are likely in the grouping that suffers from the MTHFR gene mutation, and so this is really key. Fully methylated vitamins and B vitamins means that our bodies can fully utilize the X Factor formula and those vitamins. It means that instead of just taking them and our body not knowing what to do with them and discarding them, it's actually going to use it for our total well-being and health. And the other really interesting thing is that often individuals with thyroid issues are low or deficient in B vitamins, and we have found that many people have done amazing on the X Factor based on correcting, the gene mutation and helping out along with that. The one thing that I will say for myself, when I switched over to the X Factor, was I was purchasing individual supplements because I couldn't take a multivitamin in a compressed tablet. So I was actually purchasing my vitamin D separately, I was purchasing my vitamin B12 separately, my folic acid, and just a little plug here, X Factor actually contains folate, which is in its natural form, and is a million times better for you. If you don't know about folate versus folic acid, please do a little bit of research and look that up. A credible site would be PubMed for that. And the other thing that I was doing was purchasing iron supplements. So when I switched over to the X Factor, I downgraded or decreased, I should say, in size my medicine cabinet. I went from 4 bottles down to 1, and the cost difference was astounding to me. I was buying each of these individually and trying to supplement. Plus, when I switched to the X Factor, I was actually getting more of the multivitamin complex than I was, just individually with my supplements. So it has been an awesome addition to our regime. I take it, my husband takes it, And just a little bit about our story. So as I mentioned, I had some severe digestive issues when I came to know about Plexus. I also had a lot of hormonal issues. And I'd been to a number of natural practitioners, and the things that were always coming up on my reports was, my thyroid wasn't working properly. I had all these digestive issues, and I was actually in Emerge several times with some pretty severe issues, and going through testing for that. So as I started to work on my gut health and started to take in a multivitamin that was actually being absorbed in my body, I really noticed a change in my energy levels. I noticed that I was sleeping better. I noticed my alertness was just on a whole nother level. I didn't have that foggy brain or that inability to concentrate on what I was doing throughout my day. I work in a healthcare office, so it's pretty important for me to be, sharp and be able to go with the flow and be present at all times. The other side benefits that I noticed is the skin issues that I was having were really improving. So the only other time in my life, I have to be honest, that I've had skin this clear has been when I have been on pharmaceuticals. And so I worked really hard to get off of those because I didn't want to be on them. And I noticed that my skin was doing really well. My hair was growing back. And I tried to see if I could show you guys. You can kind of see a little tuft up in here. This is not my regular hair. This is new hair growth, this little section here along my hairline. You can see the little wisps, kind of. I apologize, the video quality isn't that great. But that's something that I noticed just as a side benefit. And hair regrowth and regeneration has been a noted benefit for many. My husband has a receding hairline, or had one, and we've noticed that it's been filling back in. So that's been exciting for him. He's trying to fight the aging process, as we all are. And even cooler, my mom actually had a completely bald spot at the crown of her head. So before she started taking Plexus, her hairdresser recommended that she actually go see a dermatologist and a plastic surgeon to get some injections. And my mom is a very hardworking individual and does not have the extra income to do things like this that she sees as frivolous. And so I just recommended to her, that maybe we start working on her gut health. And she just noticed the changes in myself and my husband, externally and internally, that we were sharing with her. And so a few months ago, she went to her hairdresser. She had been trying a different hairdresser. She went back to her old hairdresser, who noticed that the patch was starting to fill in. And so she had asked her about it. And so when I went to check, it wasn't quite the size of a silver dollar, but we can actually see the little tufts of hair springing up, and it's gotten fuller and it's filled in over time. So that's been really exciting, and a side benefit that she wasn't expecting, but one that she's totally in love with. And there's just so many things that, we love to share with people about how our bodies are healing and changing as we're using these amazing supplements. So if you, if you're thinking, what if, wondering about it, we have tons of information that we could share with you, and we really do hope that we can help educate you guys on these amazing ingredients and these awesome products as well. But I'm going to hand it over to my teammate Tina, and she's got some really exciting stuff to share with you as well.
Hey everybody, so welcome. Thanks for hanging in there. I'm gonna try to keep my part brief, although I'm very excited about it. Let me introduce myself to those who don't know me. First of all, I'm a hot mess. Sorry, I worked out this evening because of all my Plexus energy that I have now, and I did not have time to take a shower and spruce myself up. So for those that don't know me, I am a wife, a mom of 5 kids, ages, how old are they? 7 to 24, almost 25, and I have a grandson who'll be 5 next week. I am a full-time registered nurse, and I think that's it about me. So I found out about Plexus from my friend Natasha, who messaged me out of the blue about Plexus, and I'm like, what in the world? What is Natasha doing messaging me about Plexus. She doesn't do that kind of thing, you know, network marketing. What's that all about? So because she's the type of person that doesn't do that kind of thing, I, you know, paid attention and I was like, okay, I'll try it reluctantly because I was a little skeptical. Hadn't really heard much about Plexus, but I thought I would give it a try because ever since I left labor and delivery and took a clinic job, I've been very sedentary, and over the last few years I've gained weight, which I don't like. I'm used to being a size 6, and I'm not that anymore, and I don't like that. So I said, okay, I'll try it. So almost immediately, I noticed an increase in energy. I was sleeping better. Have a Fitbit that proves that I'm sleeping better. You know, the app that shows you how well you're sleeping. I was getting up a lot less at night, and my cravings were better controlled. I didn't come home and attack the chips and salsa that I'd gotten in the habit of doing. You know, you walk in the door to cook dinner, and they're sitting right there, and I didn't have any control over myself, and ate a lot of chips and salsa. So Plexus helped with that. It helped me lose 8 pounds. Still working on it. Like I said, I have more energy now, so I've gotten up the nerve to go to CrossFit, which I don't know if that's crazy or whatever, but I'm enjoying it, and I'm able to do it thanks to Plexus. So I decided to join the business after a couple weeks since I saw that I was getting good results, so I knew the products worked. And I've done network marketing in the past and kind of got burnt out, and had no intention of doing anything else. So, but because the products are so great and I looked into the company, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to do this. So I went all in, and I received my first promotion in like 12 days, and then another one, and then I just received another promotion today. I went senior gold, so I'm really excited about that. I joined March 4th. And with that, each promotion you get a bonus. So one of the things that makes Plexus different from other network marketing companies is that you get cash bonuses almost immediately. So when you get your first promotion, you get a $100 bonus, and then your second one, you get a $250 bonus, and then today I earned a $350 bonus. So that's amazing, I think. I'm really excited about that because before Plexus, we had been struggling because when I left labor and delivery, I took a huge pay cut because I'm a GS employee, and I was a GS 11 and I went down to a GS 9, and I'm step 10, so I'm at the top of the pay grade, so I'll never get another raise except for the measly 1% that the government decides to give you maybe once a year, which is eaten up by insurance. So it was kind of depressing because you know, you go to work every day and you know you're not going to ever get another raise. And, you know, yes, your job can be fulfilling without raises, but come on, it's nice to be appreciated, you know, and get and work towards increases and know that you're going to be able to out earn the cost of living. So with my current job, there's no hope of that. Even though I'm very thankful, I have great benefits and all that, but there's no chance of getting a raise. So I really love the fact that with Plexus, you can promote yourself, and you can decide that you're going to make more money this month, just work a little bit harder. Another thing I love about Plexus is that you don't have to work like I work full-time. My kids, we just went through the busiest time of our lives with ball season, and I worked Plexus in the nooks and crannies, sitting at the ball field during practice, you know, messaging people, posting to Facebook. It's so easy to do in between your life, you know. You don't have to carve out 2 or 3 hours at a time to work the business. So I really love that you can fit it into your life and decide to, you know, give yourself a raise by working harder. So love that. With Plexus, we are unique in that there are, it's like a profit sharing plan. You get points and you get to participate in that immediately. In other companies, you have to wait until you get to like a higher rank before you're even considered for a bonus pool, but not with Plexus. You get that immediately. Love that. The culture, One Plexus culture is amazing. You certainly don't have that in other companies. There are a lot of divisions and teams, and with Plexus, we help each other whether we're on each other's team or not. We have access to trainings. It's really different. It's unlike anything that I've ever seen before, and I really, really love that about Plexus. So, easy monthly qualification. You don't have to sell a certain amount before you start getting paid. You can earn a paycheck literally your first month. We get paid weekly, so you can earn a paycheck. If you join today, you could have a paycheck, is it next week? I think it might be next week. Almost immediately, you can earn a weekly check, and then you get your big monthly check. So that's very cool. And then there's 11 different ways to get paid with Plexus, so of course I'm not going to bore you with all of them, but just know that the comp plan is the best comp plan out there, and it's amazing. So I think I've shared enough with you for now. The person that invited you will be happy to explain more. We have an awesome little video that we can send you that explains the comp plan in more detail, and other information if you're interested. But it's the best decision I've ever made, and I'm so thankful for this company and this opportunity. So now I'm going to turn it back to Deborah. Leah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Guys, we are just about done here. Thank you for your time tonight. We have one more giveaway to do before we're done, and that is a bottle of ProBio 5, our excellent probiotic that Deborah told you about. And that winner is Jennifer Fletcher. So congratulations, Jennifer. You're going to love it. Thank you guys so much for coming tonight. We appreciate your time so much. And please feel free to ask questions of the person who invited you tonight. We want to help you. We want to help you find the right products for you, for your family. And for those of you who are like, man, this business thing sounds great, and you're ready to jump in, talk to the person who invited you, and they will help get you signed up, okay? Thanks again for being here tonight, guys. Have a great night.